Now, the book of Revelation is presented to us as a series of programs and pictures. The programs all have 7 items in each. You have the 7 churches, then the 7 seals, then the 7 trumpets, followed finally by the 7 bowl judgments. And around these programs there are lots of pictures that help us understand what is going on in the programs. And it's interesting to see how this is all structured. Before the 7 church program, we have a picture of the Lord Jesus. He is seen as walking in the midst of the 7 lampstands, and we learn that these lampstands are in fact 7 churches. And in the first program we read of the message of the Lord Jesus to the churches. And then we have another picture and another program. It is the 7 seals, and we might think, well, what are these seals? Well, the picture tells us that the seals are on a book that is in the hand of God, who is sitting on his throne, and then the Lamb is introduced to the picture, the Lord Jesus, who has the right to open the book and to unloose the 7 seals. And then we find out what happens on earth as these 7 seals are being unloosed in heaven and the book is unrolled. This brings us to the next program, which is the 7 trumpets. And in this program, God begins to judge the earth. But it's not a complete judgment, it's only on a third of the earth. And the picture helps us understand the reason for this. Before the 7 trumpet program, there is a picture of a great company of people, 144,000, and these are saved Jewish believers who become the witnesses to Christ and to the gospel in this period of the tribulation. And then we read of a number that no one can count. It's innumerable, and these are out of every nation of the world. And these are those who have responded to the message of the gospel in these years of tribulation and have come to know the Lord Jesus Christ and receive his salvation. This is the purpose of these 7 trumpets. They are warnings of the judgment that will eventually fall on the earth. And then we come to that judgment, the 7 bowls of wrath that complete the judgment of God upon the earth in the tribulation. Now, before this final program, there are not 1 or 2 pictures, but there are 8 different pictures. And these pictures all seem to call out for one thing, that it's time for God to judge the earth. The first picture we read of is the angel descending from heaven, reading out God's rights to the earth and saying, "No more delay." We then see a picture of 2 witnesses who have been faithfully witnessing for Christ and their lives have been preserved miraculously, but at the end they are defeated and they are murdered, and the world rejoices that the voice of God has finally been silenced. This demands God's action in judgment. And then we read about a woman that's been attacked by a 7-headed dragon, Israel, under the persecution of Satan because of her child, the Lord Jesus, who will reign upon the earth. She is at the point of being destroyed by the devil, but God will come in final judgment. The beast has arisen, the Antichrist, and his kingdom is dominating the earth. This must be stopped. And then we see another picture in heaven of the 144,000 that we mentioned earlier. They're being reviewed. They're being rewarded for their service, and it's found that their service was perfect. This must be answered. They've been rejected, their message has been ignored, but they will be rewarded in that final day. Then we read of a picture where there is 3 angels speaking, and they have been preaching also the gospel, the everlasting gospel. They have been warning about Babylon, and they have been warning about the error of following the beast, explaining about the terrible judgment that shall come on those who follow him. And then we see the Son of Man. He is sat on a cloud. He has in his hand a sickle. He is ready for judgment. He is sitting in the sense that he is waiting, And then there's a voice comes to him saying, the harvest of the earth is ripe. In fact, the idea is it's overripe. It's time to use the sickle. And then the final picture is a heavenly picture. It's the martyrs who have been killed for their witness to Christ during the tribulation. And they're singing a song. I don't know the tune. I can't sing it to you. But and the words are more poetic than how I will summarize it in a minute. But what they are saying is this: you have the power to judge. You have the right to judge. You have to judge because of your character. And because you will judge, then the nations will come and bow down before you. And so the time has come. The pictures are all crying out for the final wrath of God. And then God will pour his judgments on the earth. And the final 7 bowl judgments which come upon those who have rejected every opportunity to be reconciled to God. And the voice shall finally be heard in heaven: it is done.